Hello, everybody. My name is Dreamklub, and this is not a Mountain Blade video. This is more of a talking, thinking video, and it's a reaction video to a video on Axette Gaming's channel that's called "How Are You?" And it's a very interesting question. This one, it's been analyzed by psychiatrists and sociologists worldwide because it actually doesn't mean what we think it means. It doesn't mean how are you? It actually instead means I see you. What are he talking about? You might ask yourself right now. Well, you are completely right to ask yourself that question, but in fact, that's exactly what it means. Because you don't seek an answer in this scenario. It's more of a statement. It's more of, how are you? You do not really care about the answer. The only thing you actually care about is that you have communicated your interest in the fact that this person exists and you recognize him for what he is. So that's why I say it doesn't mean how are you, it means I see you. And you can actually look this up. I would say go and do some search on internet and do look it up, because this is a subject that very, very intelligent people worldwide have spent a long time thinking about, and that's very interesting actually. But it's actually another interesting perspective of it is the fact that I've been working with people with different diagnoses and different they're in different positions in their lives, and it's very interesting when you meet this kind of people that most of us refer to as weird or strange, because the biggest difference between them, unnormal, quote unquote, people, and us normal, again, quote unquote, is actually the ability of using autopilot in our ordinary life. What's he talking about, you might ask yourself again, and a valid question, again, dear viewer, but it's actually true. I have my own experience in this subject. The biggest trouble that these people have is to understand us, quote-unquote normal people, because we spend most of our daily life in autopilot. And we do not even recognize this ourselves. But for a person that doesn't have this autopilot, doesn't have the option of put it on, it becomes super weird to try to fit in our strange society and our, rules, ordinary life, all of the different standards we have put up for how to act, what we should do. Because when you ask a question to one of these persons, a person with autism or in some cases mixed diagnosis with bipolar and all sort of, often when they ask the question how are you, they do not know how to react, because if they start to go on a rant talking about how they actually are, which basically we have asked them to do this, people becomes really uncomfortable and don't know how to respond to them. But you asked, why don't you want to know the answer? Well, it's because the question is actually not a question, it's a statement, I see you. And it's part of our autopilot system. That's really cool ability of our brain, our mind. We actually just shut off and decide that, hey, we are going to go in this autopilot mood. I'm going to ask questions here, be a social being. I'm going to show this person that, oh, I've seen you. I accept your being. It's very nice to be around you, sort of, at least. And I recognize your existence. So, hi, basically. But for a person that doesn't have this understanding of our autopilot system, this becomes super weird. Do he actually want to know what's up with me? Or do this person actually just said this without care? It's actually very often, as I've been getting into these scenarios, when you're working with people in this area, you really have to be careful what you're saying, because they don't understand why we keep asking all these strange questions that we doesn't want to have answer to. And we actually understands this. Ordinary day life, we have no problem recognizing that. How are you? We will just grant back. Oh yeah, I'm fine. It's been a little stressful lately, but yeah, which basically is thank you for seeing me. I see you too. That's basically what we're saying in the statements, because we do not actually normally send any information whatsoever about our state. We can say something like, I've been stressed out lately, but it will be fine. Don't ask anymore about it. Just been a little tough lately. And the reason why you would say such things, not because it naturally have to be in a very rough path, it's basically because all of us have those moments in our lives. From time to time, and pretty often, we are in scenarios that's slightly stressful. Not really, but slightly. So by saying something like that, what we actually sending a message to the other person that we're talking to, saying, yeah, I'm a human. I live my life like everybody else. So yeah, it's good, it's fine. Sometimes it's rough, but it's fine. It will be good. So when you start to think about the question, how are you, and why that's such a strange question that we feel really uncomfortable if people would start go on telling us exactly how they felt, how their life was at the moment. And that's just the top of the iceberg. We have tons of this, and that's really cool. We have this communication that's on a level that's so hard to understand, but we do it on an everyday basis. All of us. We have no problem of sending out messages without saying anything. And it's something I'm really fascinated about. And it's sociology all over it. It's all about how we act, how we interact, how we do stuff. So to just, be able to really point out what I'm saying here. Imagine yourself being out on a shopping tour. You're going to buy some food, some shampoo, some, stuff to wash up your clothes, ordinary day stuff. And you run into a person you haven't met for 10 years. And you will go on saying, well, hello, and hello back. And you will immediately, without caring about it, pop the question, yeah, how are you? Oh, I'm dying in cancer. What would you respond? You can leave it in the comments below if you have any good suggestion for this. That was a good suggestion for this, because we didn't actually want to know how he was. We just wanted to say, hello, I see you. I remember that you are a person that have been part of my life, or I consider you to be an active part of my life. That's basically what it means. It doesn't mean anything about your health, about your ordinary day life. If you're stressed, if your children are sick, if you're alone, if you're happy, if you're sad, that's not information that's really interesting. The only interesting part is I have seen you. I have confirmed that I know that you're there. You are an important person in this scenario right now. So I will grant you my recognition of your existence. But if it would be turned around completely and you would actually get information about health that's really, really damaging, in this case, like I'm dying, that's not anything close to what we're prepared to. And we have no responses. And the ordinary person, you that listen right now, or myself in that matter, would respond with, oh, I'm sorry. Why in God's name do we respond, I'm sorry? It's not like we have given them cancer, is it? It's because we have asked a question that we didn't want an answer to, that we just got the worst kind of answer to. That's what I mean. We doesn't actually want to know the answer. It's not a question that we want an answer to. And it's only way for us to communicate the fact that we're seeing a person, but it would be really, really awkward to say, "Oh, I'm seeing you." So we don't. We say, "How are you?" But it's actually, if we would be completely honest, it could just have been the same. Because it's basically what we're doing. We're saying, "I see you." And when you're in this scenario, the second thing you would do after saying, "I'm sorry," would be try to get away from there. That's a horrible response, but that's what 95% of us would do. Because that's basically our nature. Okay, this scenario I don't have control over. This is information I can't handle. This is something that's out of the ordinary. I need space. I need to retreat back to find my feet. I need to fall back into a scenario where I figure things out, where stuff makes sense. So you would continue the conversation because you're well brought up. Your parents have told you can't be a douchebag, and you know yourself. You don't want to consider yourself to be a douchebag. So what you do is that I'm deeply sorry, I didn't know. So, well, how did this happen? Some awkward questions after that, which you don't really want an answer to either, but you need to say something and you don't know what, and you can't run away because you're too well brought up to do that. So you ask another question that you really don't want to answer to because, god damn it, how would you answer, for example, that scenario? How did that happen? Well, yeah, I've been smoking my entire life. Okay, what shall I say now? I mean, the answer is not interesting in this scenario. But as I was saying, for people that's out of our society, humans that doesn't have the capacity of understanding social behavior that we do on a regular basis, they have a horrible time with this. In all kinds and forms. What do he want an answer of me? Do he not want an answer of me? And often, when you meet these people, the people that are outside of our society, the people that we consider weird and strange, the biggest trouble they have, the biggest battle they have in their everyday life. Yes, I chose Mountain Blade footage because it was a battle scenario, and I wanted to say that line. The biggest battle they have in their ordinary life is, what do these people talk about? They seem to be in the room. They certainly seem to be thinking. They certainly looked at me and asked me a question. But when I tell them that that I have a trouble with blood in the urine, they became really uncomfortable with me. But they wanted to know, and I wanted to be nice and tell them what they wanted to know. I didn't mean to offend them. Do you see how strange we actually can be when we turn it around? So, what basically I think I'm saying here is that we should not consider people to be too weird without actually sometimes stand on some distance to ourselves and look back and wonder, why the heck did I ask, "How are you?" to the guys when I met them late before today? Why did I do that? And why didn't I just say, "Hey guys, I like you. I see you. You're in the room." When that was basically what I meant. Because that's how strange our social behavior can be. And I hope that you don't feel weird about this. Because this is actually a beautiful thing. If we were forced to, think through every action we do, every part of the day, we wouldn't have time to do anything else. Our minds, our brains are analyzing so much data around us. I mean, there's no computer in the world that's even close. The best computer out there, that absolute smartest thing, it's have the intelligence of an insect. And I mean, even if a computer would reach the level of the second most intelligent animal on this planet, a dolphin, it doesn't actually come close to what our minds are doing. So, we should continue say, how are you? Because it's a nice thing to do. It's showing respect to the second person in the conversation. And it's still not taxing too much of our minds to remove from the fact that we are surviving on this planet in strange societies and continue to evolve our ways and habits in a way that in so many ways are cool. That in so many ways are unique. So, when I go out there and ask you, how are you? I mean, I understand that you are here and I do recognize you as a person. I mean, I like you because otherwise I wouldn't have a conversation with you. I mean that I'm willing to be friendly to you. I doesn't say all those things, but that's what stands between the lines. And what all those things that stand between the lines, it's what make us very, very unique as a being on this planet. And you know what? It's not something just Western to ask strange questions that we don't care for. Because I have a teacher that visited India. What he told me was that over there they don't ask, how are you? They ask, what have you eaten today? And the ordinary answer is rice. But nobody cares about that. Because it has the same meaning as, how are you? So, I hope you've liked this. You should now run over to Axette Gaming, check out his video and his view of this thing. And if you enjoyed my thinking, talking thing here, I would very much enjoy if you would get into the conversation. I know Google Plus is a pain, and if you don't want to use it, you are welcome to use Twitter or anything else to reach me. And basically, go out there and continue to be awesome, because that's what you do best. My name is Dreamklub, and I'm out.